Children, Sri Lanka and conflict. One thing one has to bear in mind is the fact in Sri Lanka, over a period of time, education has been made compulsory for children. It is free from the day you enter into school, the first day, until you come out of the university at the age of 21, 22, 23. That includes university education. The textbooks are given free of charge to the children. So are the uniforms. So in short, whether you are in a conflict-ridden area or in southern part of the country, irrespective of where you reside, children have access to education up to the university free of charge. The second aspect is, even in the conflict areas, when it is necessary for the children to be immunized, for example, the government and the rebel movement will observe a ceasefire during the period when UNICEF or some government agency would undertake that immunization. That means we care for our children irrespective of the fact that we fight. And the most important factor is the education is available even in those areas which are dominated by the Tamil Tigers or the LTTE, and education is paid and all expenses for running of schools and teachers are made by the government even in those areas. So that demonstrates the fact how much the government and the society cares for its children even during the unfortunate period of conflict in Sri Lanka.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. Our chairman of Haley's alluded to the fact that Sri Lanka's main two exports are apparel and tea. Probably 50% comes from apparel and 17% comes from tea. So together, nearly 70%. I think one of the other key principles that we are very proud as Sri Lankans to talk about is that in line with the UN Global Compact and the commitment to abolition of child labor, it's an area that Sri Lanka can be proud about, because in none of these sectors do we have employee child labor. So much so that the European Union granted a special GSP status in terms of the apparel sector, only because of the fact that child labor is not prevalent in our country. So I thought as children was the topic that it might be a good idea to bring that point in. Are there any other questions, ladies and gentlemen?
Could we maybe get, if there are no other questions, Mr. Kell to address this issue, kind of this overarching issue of whether you think participation in the Global Compact has a role to play in not just human rights and the other, but in the peace and security functions of the UN, and also whether you see any relation between, on a continuum, the tobacco industry and even the production of these filters and the principles of the Compact.
First, I have to state very clearly we are very proud that the Haley's Group has joined the Compact. Haley's Group reputation is very solid. It is a corporate citizen which will greatly enhance the Global Compact's credibility, and the project which has been introduced today is of global significance and breaks new grounds for us in many different ways. It is social marketing, ethical marketing, but combined with practical implementation. We very much welcome this, and we are very proud and happy to have the Haley's Group with us. On the role of business and conflict, yes, we have a whole work stream going on this, and we are convinced, as has been said already, business is a stabilizing force, especially if business is done in a responsible manner. Wherever business brings together different ethnic groups and demonstrates that working together, living together is not only doable, but is beneficial. This not only helps to overcome tensions, reduce prejudices, but generally is a contributing force towards a more peaceful, collaborative efforts. In Sri Lanka, of course, we very much hope that these stabilizing islands will spread more rapidly, but we fully recognize the stabilizing positive role of commerce, business, if done in a responsible manner. There are ample case studies, and my expert here, Melissa Powell, is here. We have done many projects around the world on this subject. She will be able to give very specific examples from all regions of the world. So, in summary, we are very proud and happy. For us, this is a very important day. Not only does it put Sri Lanka on the map and the role of responsible business practices, it also shows us that good practices and examples come from all over the world, and we are very proud and happy to have Sri Lanka very big on our map now.
We have one other small event. Sorry.
Oh, I just wondered if you, the cigarette filter issue, I don't know if you want to...
I don't believe it's a very serious issue. Of course, we discourage World Health Organization discourages tobacco, smoking, cigarettes very much. It's recognized as a killer #1, but we see this as a tertiary or secondary role, and the main product of our presentation here was tea. It is about tea drinking and the virtues of good and ethically produced tea. There's also no explicit prohibition on tobacco. On top of this, it is a fully legal product, at least in almost all countries of the world, as far as I'm aware of. So we do not see this as an ethical issue.
Great. At this time, I'd like to call upon the chairman of Mabroc and the chairman of Haley's to hand over, okay, if you can just give the photographer a moment, to hand over the plaque to Mr. Kvpl, the executive director, and so you could also be very much involved.
Well, thank you very much. This is a great honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let me thank, on behalf of both Global Compact and the Haley's Group and Mabroc, every one of you who have taken your time to be with us. And thank you very much. And I presume we come to the end of today's media conference.
Thank you all very much. Thank you, Ravi. Thank you.
That's a little bit, that's further. They're attacking.
Oh, definitely. Hey, what's going on?
Sorry.
Oh, sure. This is great. Very good. Oh, I got my teeth. I don't think, I'm wondering if there's any ethical issues, but I guess I can't write about it unless I do. Yeah, I'll do a little review of it too. Just got to review it. Thanks a lot. This was very good. I mean, I think, as I said, it's